Hello students, today I am going to teach you a lesson. Madam Rides the Bus is written by Bali Kannan. He was born in Tamil Nadu on 12th November 1920 and died on 9th November 2006. He was a famous Tamil writer, journalist, critic and translator. He started writing at a very young age and had published 25 books 25 books by the time he turned 30. He wrote a total of 75 books in his life. He wrote novels, poetry collections, plays and essays. He was awarded the Sahitya Academy Award in 1978 for his critical works on modern Tamil poetry. Now I'm going to explain you the lesson. This is a story about the first bus journey of an 8-year-old girl. She was called Vali for short. She was a curious girl. She wanted to know many things. She did not have playmates, friends of her own age. Her favorite pastime was standing in the front doorway of her house to see what was happening outside. Watching the happenings in the street gave her many new, unusual experiences. The most fascinating thing of all was all the bus that passed through the street each hour. The bus traveled between her village and the nearest town. The sight of the bus was a source of unending joy for Vali. It was a great joy for her to watch the new sets of passengers every time the bus passed through the streets. As she watched the bus day after day, she developed a wish to have a ride on that bus. Her wish became stronger and stronger until it was an overwhelming desire. Vali carefully listened to the conversations between her neighbors and the people who had traveled on the bus or who regularly used it. She asked some casual questions also. In this way, she learned about small details about the journey. She came to know that the town was 6 miles away from the village. It took 45 minutes to reach there. The fare was 30 paise for one way. One could keep sitting on the bus and return to the village by paying another 30 paise. Vali planned her journey to the town and back. It would be her first journey out of her village. She saved every paise by resisting her desire to buy ice cream, toys, balloons, and many more things. She had also killed her desire to visit the village fair and have a ride in the merry-go-round. When she had saved 60 paise, she was ready for her first bus journey. Then she planned how she would slip out of the house. She knew that her mother slept daily after lunch. She decided to use these hours for her journey. She decided to board the bus at 1 o'clock so that she could be back by 2:45. So one fine spring day, Vali boarded the bus. The conductor was so seeing her confidence, he allowed her to board the bus. He was a jolly fellow, the conductor. He understood that Vali spoke with pride. He called her Madam and offered a seat. He asked others to make way for the Madam. There were only 6 or 7 passengers on the bus. They were all looking at Vali. They and the conductor have overcome her shyness, quickly walked to an empty seat and sat down. Vali looked around her in the bus. The bus had a fine painting of green stripes on the white. It had soft and comfortable seats. It had a beautiful clock above the wind screen. The overhead bars shone like silver. Then she tried to look outside. Vali tried to look outside. She found her view cut off by a curtain that covered the lower part of a window. So she stood on a seat to enjoy the outside scene. The bus was going along the bank of a canal. She saw palm trees, mountains, and the blue sky. On the other side, there were green fields. Suddenly, an elderly a woman warned Vali not to stand on the seat, called her a child, and said that she could and get hurt. But Vali does not care for him. She told him proudly that she was not a child. She had paid the full fare like the others. The conductor told the man that Vali was a grown up madam. Vali looked at the conductor angrily, said that she was not a madam. The conductor told her that she should not stand on the seat. She could fall when the bus took sharp turns, but Vali ignored his remarks also. On the way, the bus stopped and some new passengers got on. Afraid of losing her seat, Vali finally sat. A elderly woman came and sat beside her. Vali looked at the woman. She found her repulsive. She had ugly earrings. She was chewing betel. Vali could see that the betel juice was likely to spill over her lips. That woman asked Vali whether she was traveling all alone. Vali told her that she was alone and she got a ticket too. Then the old woman asked her if it was proper for a child to travel alone. She also asked whether Vali knew exactly where she was going in town. Vali told the woman that she need not bother about her. Then she turned her face towards the window. The bus moved on across a bare landscape. Vali enjoyed the outside scene. Trees came running towards them. Sometimes the bus seemed to strike the oncoming vehicle, but both passed safely. Suddenly, Vali clapped her hands with joy. A cow was running in the middle of the road in front of the bus. The bus slowed down. The driver sounded the horn again and again, but the cow became more frightened and continued running before the bus. Vali laughed and laughed until there were tears in her eyes. At last, the cow moved off the bus passed by the side of the railway crossing. Vali enjoyed the scene of trains. Then the bus skated the city area. There were huge crowds of people. Vali looked at different things with surprise. Then the bus reached the city bus stand and stopped. Everybody got off the bus except Vali. The conductor asked Vali to get down, but she told him that she was going back on the same bus. He was surprised and asked her why she had come to the city. She replied that she just wanted to take a ride on the bus. He asked Vali if she would like to have look at the sights outside the bus. Vali said that she was afraid of that. He asked to have a cold drink. Vali said that she had not enough money for that. The conductor offered to pay for her drink, but Vali did not accept the offer. The bus resumed its return journey. There were the same wonderful sights. Vali enjoyed the scene again, but suddenly she saw a young cow lying dead by the roadside. It had been struck by a fast moving vehicle. She asked the conductor if it was the same cow they saw earlier. The conductor nodded. Vali became sad. It had been a lovable, beautiful creature just a little ago. But now the cow was without its charm and its life. The bus moved on. The memory of the dead cow haunted Vali. She no longer wanted to see out of the window. She kept sitting on her seat until her village came. She got down and wished the conductor to see him. The conductor smiled. He told Vali that whenever she felt like riding the bus, she could come and join them. Vali reached home. She found her mother was awake. She was talking to her aunt who lived in the Sloth Street. She was a chatterbox. She asked Vali where she had been. But Vali just smiled. Her mother and her aunt were discussing the things outside the world. Her mother said that no one could know everything. At this, Vali remarked that there were many things happening without our knowledge. Her mother asked what she meant. Wali's aunt called her a chit of a girl. She took an interest in things which did not concern her. She behaved as if she were a grown up lady. Wali smiled to herself. She